Indelible Evidence, a dramatised series on how forensic science is concerned with solving crimes which are often of a violent nature. The programme reflects this and contains scenes that you may find disturbing.
In most cases of murder, the body of the victim can usually provide the police and the forensic scientists with valuable clues as to the time, manner, and cause of death. But what do you do when no body is immediately available? In this program, all that the police had to go on were disconnected fragments of forensic evidence arising out of some strange goings-on in a Lancashire pub one windy winter's night. The events depicted here occurred during a period of several months in 1988. As usual, the police and the forensic scientists involved play themselves, while the remainder of the cast are actors. In the police interviews, the words spoken are those that were recorded at the time. The names of the characters have been changed, but the locations in and around Liverpool are those where the events took place.
Mum?
Oh, hello, Helena.
Mum, I'm going to come home early.
Why's that?
I've got a date.
To where?
I'm going out with Jimmy tonight.
Oh, that's nice. Where are you meeting him?
Oh, he's calling down for me. I'll be home about 5:15.
Oh, so what time do you want your tea?
Can I have it about past? I want to get ready and get dressed. I've not been out with him before.
He's a nice boy. I'll be careful coming home now, love. It's blowing a gale out here.
I'm always careful. Love you, Mum. Bye.
Merseyside.
The news at 9 with Jerry Phillips on Wednesday the 11th of February. A young woman has been reported missing on Merseyside last night. Police are asking for anyone who may have seen the 22-year-old young woman who disappeared somewhere between Liverpool town centre and her home in Billinge. She was last seen wearing a long brown coat, red scarf and green woolen mittens.
Is that you, Paul? Have you seen this telex about the girl missing from Billinge? Make some urgent inquiries to try and trace where she went from the office. I'd like it within the hour, please. Thank you. By the following lunchtime, we had established that the missing girl, Helen Mitchell, had last been seen near the bus stop in Billinge, just 400 yards from her home. Technically, she was a missing person, but I personally felt this was a potentially more serious crime because in my experience, girls don't telephone home to say they're coming early and then not turn up or telephone. Visiting the girl's home and talking to Helen's mother reinforced my instinct that something sinister had occurred. The next day, therefore, we mounted a major investigation. At first, we thought there was a strong possibility Helen had been abducted by a passing motorist, so we stopped every car in the village in case any of the locals had seen anything. The other possibility was that she'd come to harm at some place on her quarter-mile route home. I therefore had every building, every house, every garage, every shed searched, and that included the pub, the George and Dragon, on the main street just round the corner from the bus stop.
We were particularly interested in the pub because the missing girl spent a lot of time socialising there, and we felt that the people working at the pub would be a source of useful information.
Just go over that again. You say you're the head barman here. That's so, and you were here on Sunday evening, okay? And that there was an argument in the toilet involving her. Is that right?
That's exactly it.
Okay. Just hang on there a moment, will you? Hello, sir.
Hi, Jeff.
Okay.
Who's this fellow?
This is the head barman.
What have we got up to now?
Well, he's told me that there was she was in here on Sunday evening and that there was an argument involving her inside the toilet.
Yeah. Well, the problem is the press are here now.
Yeah.
So the best thing is to take him down to the station.
Okay.
And we'll go upstairs and make some arrangements, okay?
Right. Okay, that's fine.
The flat was in disarray, and there was ladies' clothing lying around the bedroom.
Boss, there's a stain and some grit in this bath.
Yeah, there's some in the toilet. We'll get the forensic down.
Boss, I've got the pub landlord here.
Hello, what's your name?
Brian Williams.
Can you get somebody else to run the pub for you?
What?
Do you know Helen Mitchell?
Yeah, she's a regular.
Has she ever been in this flat?
No, never.
Okay, can you just come in this room and I want to have a word in here, please? He was very agitated, and there was something about his demeanour which made me suspicious. Who's these clothes here?
My girlfriend stays here with me.
I thought you were married.
I am.
Well, where's your wife?
She lives up the road.
Well, what does she say about this?
She don't know.
It became apparent that all was not well with Williams. And it was because of that that I decided to take both he and the barman, Scott, to the police station for further questioning. Because it was a potential murder investigation, I decided to have the forensic fully examine the public house, together with the cars.
2 days after Helen Mitchell was last seen, I was called by the Merseyside police to examine some stains they had found in the flat above the George and Dragon pub. Blood can be identified by a simple colour test. If the stain is blood, it will react with the chemicals to produce a pink colour. No, that's not blood.
I'll take you to the cars then.
Okay.
I must have got to the pub on Tuesday about 5 to 6 to open up, like.
Let's not leave it with you just for a minute.
Right, sir. So, put the radio on, looked out the window, saw Brian Williams back his car in.
I did me books in the afternoon and got my head down for a bit. I heard Terry coming in between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. But don't create when he hears a noise, so I was up there. I spoke to him maybe 15 minutes or half an hour of him coming in, and then lay down till after 7.
During the initial stages of our inquiry, dozens of police officers interviewed hundreds of witnesses, trying to piece together what happened or what may have happened to Helen Mitchell.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, what's your name then?
My name's Sharon Tully.
What is your relationship to Brian Williams?
I'm his girlfriend.
Where were you on Tuesday night?
Well, I usually see Brian in the pub about 7 in the evenings. I saw him about lunchtime and we said we'd meet then. But about 6:10 he phoned me up. He was talking in a whisper, so I thought he must be at home and his wife was there. He said, Sharon, I'll see you at 8:30. I asked him why, and he said, Nora. That's his wife. I thought he'd been arguing with her, so I said, okay.
I'll just go and see what's happening.
All right, Tom.
He didn't get back till after 10. He said, can you see if he needs a lift behind the bar? I didn't answer properly because I was still mad at him for being late. He asked me what the matter was. And then he said, Sharon, I've told her. She knows. She went berserk. And he pointed to these scratches on his neck. He said, look what she's done. And then he had a bath.
All right, Joe. What's the girlfriend saying?
Hey, I was just sleeping. Let's have a go. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, all right. Excuse me, boss. I think my fella's telling us a few lies.
You tell us the truth. Okay, some of what I said before weren't true. I'll tell you the truth now. Sharon and me talked about telling my wife. I decided to tell her that night. I phoned Sharon and told her either not I was at the pub or I was going to see her. I went about 7:30. I couldn't tell her I was upset. I decided to go to Southport. I just parked on the prom and had a think. I was crying a bit. When I got back, Sharon was mad. I saw her looking at me throat, so I told her Nora had gone berserk and scratched my neck. I had a bath then and put makeup on to cover the scratches. I got them in the fight between the two girls on the Sunday before. It was between Ellen Mitchell and another girl. I've not seen Ellen Mitchell since then.
I repeated the blood test on some stains I found around the rubber seal of the boot of Brian Williams' car.
That's blood. Have you seen this mud?
Now conveying them to the forensic science office. Charlie. Echo out.
It looks like a human hair. It's very long. I'll take the whole carpet back to the lab. Yes, okay. Hang on, what's this? An earring.
This is Helen's father. He wanted to be here.
Hello. Hello. Can I ask whether you've seen that before?
Yes, it's Helen's.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Please sit down. Can I ask either of you whether Helen has ever given blood?
No, no.
I need Helen's hairbrush.
She uses heated rollers.
Right, Brian, can I have all your property off you, please, including your ring and your bracelets and any other jewellery?
Once we had confirmed the earring was Helen's, we had enough evidence to arrest Williams. The law then allowed us a total of 3 days to build up the evidence, try to find Helen's body, and break Williams' story.
This interview is being tape recorded. Your solicitor is present. This morning you were arrested on suspicion of abducting Helen Mitchell. Can you tell me where that girl's body is now?
I've not got a clue. I don't know anything about Ellen Mitchell.
When did you last see Helen Mitchell?
On Sunday night.
Which Sunday was that?
Last Sunday.
Where did you see her?
In the pub was the last time I saw her.
Did anything happen that night?
Yeah, Helen was very upset.
Why?
Because a girl was having an argument with her.
Who was having an argument with her?
A girl named Alice.
Do you know what the disturbance was over?
Yeah, it was over a photograph. Helen showing Alice and her boyfriend photographs. I came downstairs and Terry Scott, the barman, said there's 2 girls fighting in the bogs. So I just grabbed her hands and Helen was in the corner crying. And then I said, Helen, get out. So the next thing, she's having a go and I'm stopping her.
Did Alice cause you any injuries?
Yeah. I don't know whether she caught me neck. She definitely caught me chest downstairs. But I don't know whether she caught me neck downstairs or in the upstairs bar.
She's been asked if she could possibly have caused you any injuries.
It's not injuries. I'm not injured.
Scratches then? She denied she did it.
If you said injuries to her, she might mean a broken bone or... You know what I mean? It's scratches.
The witnesses we've spoken to disagree entirely with your account and say she couldn't possibly have caused those injuries.
They don't know. How do they know what injuries they've got? You can't call them injuries. Them's girls' scratches, aren't they?
We looked at Helen's hair from her heated rollers. It was very useful because it was unusual and would be easy to match. Her hair was very long, up to 18 inches, and had been subjected to a variety of tints and treatments, so that the hairs showed a gradual colour change along their length. The hairs I found in the car boot matched Helen's hair, and the structure of the root showed that they had been forcibly pulled out.
The search for Helen's body was massive. The area is rural with lots of water, and the ground search involved many hundreds of police officers from several forces, as well as tremendous support and help from the public.
The clothes found by the owner of the Alsatian came into the laboratory as a matter of routine, and it was a stroke of luck that they were allocated to me to examine. As soon as I saw them, I immediately made the connection between these clothes and the Helen Mitchell inquiry, having recently been to the George and Dragon, where Labatt's lager was being promoted, and also having noted the heavy mud stains and blood on William's car. We immediately, therefore, set about to examine these items to see whether the mud and the blood stains on the Labatt sweatshirt matched the mud and the blood on William's car. We had already established that the blood on William's car was human blood and did not come from Brian Williams. Grouping tests now showed that the blood on the sweatshirt matched the blood stains on the car. Approximately 1 person in 90 would have this particular combination of blood groups.
Who did these clothes belong to, Sharon?
Brian Williams.
I'm going to show you a blue-coloured, extra-large Canadian lager sweatshirt, identifying mark HW2. Have you ever seen that before?
Seen loads of them.
Have you ever had one of those?
I think about 3 of those, yeah.
Now I'm going to show you a pair of blue denim jeans, mud-stained. Do you identify those?
No, I've never seen them before.
I'm now going to show you a pair of underpants. A boot.
Are you saying that none of that is your property?
No.
Brian, that property, together with 2 towels, one of them bloodstained, has been shown to Sharon, and she's identified them as your property. Can you tell me why she's identified them as your property?
I don't know.
So Sharon's wrong?
She must be, yeah.
I put it to you, Brian, that you owe it to that girl's parents to tell us where the body is.
I've not put her anywhere.
How do you account for that property being identified?
I don't know. Somebody's doing something.
Somebody's doing something? Somebody's telling a lot of lies. Have you murdered Helen Mitchell?
No. No.
We were getting nowhere with Williams, but we were still getting witness statements, and we found that the dog owner who discovered the clothes remembered that he had seen a car similar to Brian Williams backed up to the canal. I had divers search underwater. We found 2 bodies, neither was Helen's.
Only 3 or 4 people very close. You couldn't see it from the car.
I've not got a clue where she is. Why do people say they've seen me when they've not seen me?
This tape is finished. I'll have to end this interview.
Cheer up, Kev. Should they have tomorrow, innit?
Well, it should be. I was even going to the rugby match as well.
Cheers. You get to your match, Kev. I'll have something to tell you in the morning.
Meanwhile, the search for Helen's body has been on for 4 days. Over the weekend, an estimated 2,000 people volunteered their help, but but the response was so great, many had to be turned away.
Now, under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, the time we are allowed to interview detained persons before charge is limited, and he continued to deny involvement despite the evidence which was already available.
My head's just whizzing.
So there's nothing you want to tell us about then?
No. If I knew what Helen was, I'd have told you at the beginning.
He was then charged with the murder, and by law we were basically only allowed to re-interview him if new matters arose. It was then my job to collate all the evidence and to prepare the court case. And in the absence of Helen's body, of course, this depended very greatly on the forensic evidence.
One lady's white bra.
Scenes of crimes officers combed the flat looking for evidence that Helen Mitchell had been there. The flat was in a terrible state, so that search took several weeks in all. In the back bedroom, we found more of Helen's hair, which had been forcibly pulled out, some blood, and a butterfly clip from an earring. At the bottom of the stairs, we made a very important find, a fingerprint in blood. The amount was too small for blood grouping, but we were able to identify the fingerprint as having been made by Brian Williams' left forefinger. Beneath the fingerprint were flecks of blood, which the scientists told us were consistent with coming from a blow struck onto a blood-soaked surface. We wanted to find out if this blood was Helen's, but we still didn't have her body, so we asked her parents to give samples of their blood.
We grouped Helen's parents' blood. We already knew that the bloodstains from the flat, the sweatshirt and the car were all of the same groups, and we were able to say that they could indeed have come from a child of the Mitchells. The blood groups involved are a fairly common occurrence, so this evidence was far from conclusive.
It could, yeah.
Yeah. We therefore decided to send a sample to our laboratories at Aldermaston for DNA analysis. Unfortunately, the blood had degraded to some extent, and the analysis gave us no useful information.
We had hoped the DNA analysis would help us, and obviously we were very disappointed when it didn't. So we pressed the staff at the Home Office research establishment at Aldermaston and learnt that they were looking at a new, far more sensitive technique, which they agreed they would use for us.
From the single locus probes, we expect to get 2 bands. As you can see in the sweatshirt, we have 2 bands here. One of the bands matches one from the mother, and the other band matches one from the father.
It was the first time this new technique was used by the Home Office in casework.
So what can you tell us statistically and evidentially as a result of that?
Statistically, we can say it's 14,000 times more likely that the blood from the sweatshirt has come from the son or daughter of the Mitchells than from someone chosen at random.
We can double that figure by combining this result with the result we got from conventional grouping. So the final figure will in fact be 28,000.
In order to help narrow the search for Helen's body, I examined the mud on Williams's jeans and on his car. Mud may vary from one spot to another, and I wanted to find out where the mud had come from. Each sample is shaken through a number of sieves. By separating one of the sound fractions together with the finest fraction, I can visually compare samples. The mud samples matched, so they came from the same place. The question was, from where? I looked at over 600 samples collected from an area of over 300 square miles in the hope that if I found a precise match, it might tell us where Williams had been and where the body may be found. Unfortunately, none of the samples gave us a precise match.
There's not sufficient detail in it. After 3 weeks, forensic evidence suggested Helen had come to harm, but Williams had not confessed, and we had still not found her body.
I think we've got to go back to them.
Auntie, what? Over here a minute. What have you got? There's an handbag over here. Oh, yeah. Give us a look. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's money. I'm taking it. No. We'll split it. Do you think we should go to the north?
The finding of Helen's clothes, together with William's jacket, was crucial. It gave us an enormous amount of information about where she'd been and what had happened to her. The find included the likely instrument of her death. The flex had dog teeth marks along its length and was similar to other lengths of flex found in the pub flat. Trapped in a knot in the flex were long hairs which had been forcibly pulled out. They matched Helen's. It is likely that this flex had been used as a ligature to strangle Helen. Helen's coat had a number of different fibres on it. These gave us a record of where she had been and what she had come into contact with. Among the fibres on both Helen's coat and trousers were crimson nylon fibres. We wanted to compare these with the crimson carpet fibres from the back bedroom of the pub flat to see if they matched. A number of fibres from the landing carpet of the flat were also found on Helen's trousers and coat. So too were rottweiler dog hairs, which matched those of William's dog. From this evidence, it seems likely that Helen was dragged along the floor of the flat. Over the next few months, we undertook the laborious and painstaking cross-matching of fibres, which linked Helen's clothes with William's clothes, his flat, and his car. Helen Mitchell was last seen after she had got off her bus at 5:15. From the forensic evidence, we learned a great deal about her last minutes. There are, however, many aspects to this case which remain a mystery and may never be resolved. We don't know why she was persuaded to go into the flat above the pub. We don't know what initiated her struggle with Williams, but we do know a struggle took place and that it resulted in Helen Mitchell's death.
All this detailed and convincing circumstantial evidence was enough for the real Brian Williams to be tried for murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. He's never revealed what he did with Helen Mitchell's body.